I'm at 3930 Forest Avenue in Norwood, Ohio, on a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, bellies, which are like low spots, any root intrusion, anything that may be of concern to the buyer. Wipe it off the camera here, try to make sure we clean it out. The access point here is PVC stack here, right next to the, this is right next to the stationary tub here. You can see that, and here is the remainder of the basement. So we can come in through here. And I expect there to be clay, there we are, underneath the floor here. Kind of weird the way this is. They just when they put the PVC stack in, they just kind of set it down in there, so I'm not sure which direction it wants to go. You can kind of see there's kind of a break-in where they just kind of laid this 4-inch PVC into the side of a 6-inch clay line, and it's kind of broken out at the base here. And I'm not sure if that's because of if it's an old piece when they did this, or if it's actually broken out at the bottom. I was able to get it to turn, so hopefully on the way back we'll be able to see a little better. It does look like I am going downstream though, which is good. And it is clay. So we have a little bit of, you can tell if that's just debris hanging on or if that's a little bit of root intrusion there, but looks like just some spider webs and stuff. There's another clean out towards the front. Looks like more spider webs towards the front of the house with the expansion plug in it. A lot of the houses in this area or in Norwood in general have what we call whole house traps. It's pretty common when these were built. And if it's still there, we need to make a move to get different access, go into a different access point to be able to get through it, but hopefully there's not one installed and we can just go right on past it. Okay, it looks like we have a belly. Try to put it through it here to see. I may have to try to add a standoff to the camera see here. The problem there would be being able to access it through this clean out with a with that accessory put on the front of the camera. So I have some roots here. They don't look real active. A lot of times if they're active you can see them, they're not all covered like that. With these being all covered with this stuff, usually that indicates that they have either been treated or they're dormant, that they've stopped growing. Usually when you have a tree taken out or something, this is kind of what the roots look like. But there are quite a few here. These are looking a little more lively here. 54. It looks like I'm getting ready to go into a whole house trap, which is what I was talking about earlier. So, based off the footage, I think I am actually outside, but I am going to pull back and make sure I'm flat. You can see the reflection just in front of us. So I'm thinking the whole house trap is right about, push it until I hit it, and then I'll pull back to make sure it's level. And then we're going to pause the video, and I'm going to go locate this spot and see if we can get into that whole house trap and access it so we can get past it. Okay, so this is out in the front yard, about 3/4 of the way, well, maybe halfway to the street, or to the sidewalk, I'm sorry. If you were about another 10 feet, you would be off the property and it would be sewer district. And so it's pretty close to that. What we can do here to try to make sure that everything is in good shape is I can pull back. There is definitely a clean out there. It's just buried. It looks like it's right next to the tree. I tried to locate it as far as with a probe even, but of course there's about an extra foot of mulch and everything put on top of the two. So there's definitely a clean out there. I just, it would take a little bit of digging to find it, to uncover it around that tree, with the tree roots and everything else in the way. But it's definitely there. You can see the reflection off in the distance. There is a pipe, a vertical pipe there. They always put one there. It's just a matter of how covered it is. I guess the good thing is that because it's covered, that means they haven't had to access it for anything, or when they've cleaned it from in here and they were able to get the snake to go through it. Or I will mark it though, just for future reference. I may want to uncover it just for access, just to know where it is. So, but I'm going to pull back. I'm going to try to put a little bit of a riser on it, because we do have some root intrusion here at about 52 feet once we get outside, and that would be my biggest fear, is that past that clean out, excuse me, well, there should be a clean out, but past the whole house trap, that there would be root intrusion, because at the house trap it's almost sitting directly underneath that small tree. And so these spots here, it's not down in the flow line, but you can see it on the left and the right. This may have been treated with like a root killer or something already, but that could be a good step. These do look more active than the other ones that are full, and this is about 52 feet. But again, they're not in the flow line, so they're not actively causing any backup. Structurally, the line looks good. So we have a little bit of a belly here. That was very, very light. Not even really worth mentioning. That camera lens is only about ½ an inch off the bottom of the pipe, so it's not a huge thing. Just a tiny, tiny low spot of ½ inch of water is very common. So now this looks like a little heavier, but I'm going to try to put something on the camera there from 30 to, let's see what we're at here. This one you can see off in the distance, it's about half the diameter of the pipe. So we're at about 34 feet. About 34 to 40, so about a 6-7 foot. Say 34 to 46, and then we have some root intrusion. So it is a low spot. Bellies, usually they don't cause a major blockage, like I didn't have any resistance to it going through there. Usually the water will just rise up to the point it needs to and then overtake it. So holding a water is not a big deal. So, but I will remark on the report about it, 34 to 46 feet. It may actually be where the clean out in the front is. And the base of this is broken. You can see if I tap it in there, the base of this stack is broken. Let's just get the, maybe if I clean the camera lens off and go back down through there, you can see it a little better. Go back down through there. Now I just got them going from the back of the stack. Let's see here. Stuff's just draining down to the front of it, so but you can see the broken. See how it's broken out there at the bottom. See the piece of pipe laying there sideways. So looks like where they inserted the line, maybe when they did that, they broke out the side of the pipe. So there's a spot there at the base of the stack, and then belly from 34 to 46 feet. I am going to try to access the line from the clean out on the floor and see if that helps at all, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get past that that whole house trap, but I am going to make an attempt. I mean, the line looks okay structurally. It's kind of to be expected for a 100-plus-year-old house and sewer line. Again, you have a small amount of root intrusion that can be taken care of with a usually just a chemical treatment. The most common one is called a root X. And that usually you can treat about once a year, and it should kind of burn back the roots enough to where they shouldn't cause any problems. But you could also have them mechanically cleaned to get rid of them all, but at this point it would be pretty hard to even tell what they're hitting because they wouldn't be able to feel any kind of resistance from that little bit of roots that is there. The worst ones I saw that still look active are at about 52 feet, and there is a tree sitting directly on top of the line where the whole house trap is, and where that will be marked. So I'm going to pause the video for a second, and we're going to make a move to the other clean out. Okay. Open the clean out in the floor. Let's see if we can get a little bit better angle at it here. Maybe we'll get lucky and go through that clean out, but go through the whole house trap here. And you can see there is the access. It goes directly into the from here. We'll be a lot closer to that whole house trap. So I'll be referencing this stuff from the previous spot. pull back, rinse the camera off, and then we're going to watch and make sure that the trap is functioning properly. We're going to run a bunch of water, make sure that it is clearing the trap properly and not backing up. So I'm going to pause the video for a second. We're going to start running water, and then when it shows up, I will unpause the video. Okay, as you can see, the water's flowing. Water level is not increasing. That's what we're looking for, to at least be able to what we're looking for is for anything to back up or water level to increase. What that trap is it's similar to what's underneath your toilet or underneath your sinks. The water can run through it, but it creates like a water barrier, essentially, so that no stink gets through it. It was something that used to be code for a lot of houses. They would just trap the entire house instead of the individual fixtures. Now they trap every fixture. That's why you find them underneath sinks and like built into the toilets and stuff like that. And it doesn't keeps the line from the sewer gases from backing up in the house. So they are no longer used. Obviously, it's been since about the late 20s when they quit using these, and but a lot of them are still intact and still functioning, so they haven't been removed, and that looks like the case here also. Obviously the water level is not increasing. We're running a bunch of water. Let me actually go turn it off and then let it run down the rest of the way. So if you watch this, an awful lot of water. The stationary tub is actually running very slow. So it's holding a lot of water right now, so a lot of water should be coming through here pretty quickly. But this is a good indication to show that trap is open. My only fear would be on the other end of that trap is that there is some root intrusion. There's only about 10 feet past this point that is owned by the homeowner, but it would be something that would be advantageous to get access to. Like I said, I will mark it with a flag and some paint, just so if needed, somebody could dig it up and uncover that clean out. There's definitely something there. It's just a matter of how deep it is and how well it was covered. It should be clay pipe, and so it may not even be able to be found with a metal detector. It shouldn't be too deep, at least from my experience in Norwood. A lot of these have been kept up just in case, so that you can clean through the trap. It's usually right here, and then before it goes down and under into the U part of the trap, and that way you can get behind it and go straight down through it and clean anything out of it that may get stuck. So looks like it's running free and clear. I mean, we've run a ton of water through this thing, and so it is running free and clear, but it would obviously be good to get access to be able to clean the line out if necessary, or to inspect past this point for that little bit before you get onto public property or where the sewer district takes over maintenance. So I'm going to go ahead and push out just a hair, go back out, relocate it, mark it with a flag and some paint, and then we'll go from there. And I want to be able to see when you get out to the end of this, like right up against it, and it usually will force the camera to go down a little bit, but it's not in this case. It is right there, and then that's why when you get on top of it, you can push down through it, but unless you can get directly on top of it, the camera will not make the turn. So, alright, I'm going to pause the video, get another locate. Okay, so it is marked with the green flag and a little bit of paint. It's right in the landscaping for the tree. If you're facing the house, it's the tree on the right. But again, the line is functioning. Basically, you've got roots at 52 feet from the other location, from the back clean out, and then I believe it was somewhere around 24 to 36 feet. But the line is functioning. A few little concerns, but you know, nothing immediate. Everything looks like it's functioning. But I would consider a maintenance schedule of about once a year, at least putting some root intrusion preventer down, or root X, a chemical, about once a year, and then uncovering that clean out at some point to be able to get access to it downstream, just to see what kind of condition that downstream line is in of the clean out, or of the whole house trap, and that way, you know, in case there are some roots getting in past that point, you can address it and make sure that you can get to them, and be able to maintain the rest of that line. So hopefully by adding some of that root X, maybe that'll get through that trap and be able to help, but I'm not sure how efficient that is, going through a whole house trap like that. So a little bit of maintenance should be fine. The line is functioning, so that'll end the inspection at 3930 Forest Avenue in Norwood, Ohio.